So we have some news to go over that came out earlier today from Adam Schefter about Zach Tom. It says here on X, Packers right tackle Zach Tom is not expected to play Sunday night versus the Cowboys due to the oblique injury he suffered in a loss at Cleveland per source. Green Bay has a bye next week to reassess how Tom is feeling and whether he can return in Week 6 versus the Bengals. So Zach Tom, the player the Packers paid a lot of money this offseason, unfortunately, likely to miss this game against the Cowboys after returning last week from his oblique injury. After missing Week 2, he goes in one snap, isn't able to return to the game, and now it looks like he's not going to play against the Dallas Cowboys. So that is not great news. Thankfully, the Cowboys' pass rush is not anywhere near what the Browns' pass rush is, which the Packers' offensive line could not handle whatsoever last week. Now, if Micah Parsons had never been traded, that would be a different story, but thankfully, Micah Parsons is on the Green Bay Packers. And so now, looking at Zach Tom, I understand the Packers' decision with the bye week being the following week after the Cowboys game. If you're the Packers and you're unsure how Zach Tom will be, like if he's really ready to play against the Cowboys, if you're unsure, you may as well just let him sit that game out because then he gets nearly 3 weeks to be ready for the next possible game after the bye week. So they will allow him to have a few weeks to get healthy, and hopefully after the bye week, he will be ready to go. If not, that's obviously a concern, but the fact that they have not yet put him on the IR makes me think they at least don't think he'll miss 4 games, which he would get on the IR. And so now the question becomes, who's going to be that right tackle there, because the Packers have used a lot of different players there with Zach Tom missing time. They used Darian Kinnard a little bit early in the season, Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton as well. Belton played great in Week 2. He played like 50 snaps, allowed 0 pressures, but then last week wasn't as good for him, wasn't as good for Jordan Morgan either last week, who also had a lot of unfortunate penalties. And so when you have Zach Tom, a guy who has been one of the better tackles in the league, and he's not playing, that obviously hurts your offensive line. And the Packers right now, looking at how they've performed offensive line-wise, it's not been very good. If we look at their pass block win rate per ESPN, they're 18th. You look at their run block win rate, they're currently 28th. So it was a really bad week last week, which definitely hurt a lot of their overall statistics, but it's not been a great start for this Packers offensive line that has been dealing with injuries. And then we had some more updates today from practice from Ryan Wood on X, who says Zach Tom oblique, Aaron Banks groin, and Javon Bullard concussion are not practicing today. All 3 are with Packers rehab group. So it's possible that Aaron Banks may not play as well against the Cowboys. As I said, looking at the Cowboys defense, not nearly as effective, anywhere close as to effective as the Cleveland Browns have been. The Cowboys defense through 3 weeks, according to NFL Pro, they're 15th in pressure rate, 28th in sacks at 4, so a middle of the road to slightly below average pass rush unit. And currently, Kenny Clark is actually leading the Cowboys in pressures at 9. But that's all the news we have today. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.